The story that started it all. I remember still being in school when pony phenomenon boomed, and many looked at it as some kind of freaky obsession where only weirdos would be met. Back then, though I didn't watch as many cartoons as I do now, I still did watch and rewatch ones I enjoyed just as much. And I'm ashamed to say, but I blindly hated on MLP while proclaiming that I gave things a chance. Well, look at me, the hypocritical changeling. Now, it's been almost a year since I left the hive. Started watching these horses horsing around, and I have to say, I should have taken a look at this sooner. But that aside, let's finally get into this, can you even call this a review? Well, as long as nobody calls me out on it, I will. Right then, with first opening shots I was discouraged to watch further as narrator's voice reminded me of a too serious and too grown-up person that wouldn't really fit the job of narrator as a whole. Bland, emotionless, fake, and insincere. No wait, am I describing Celestia or narrator? Hey, it's both! Now, if I may say, Nightmare Moon's character did make me curious, but in short that introduction is the poorest thing in the episode. As soon as the world establishing narration ended, I was greeted by Twilight. And right there, I recall being very intrigued by animation style, which actually had some visual depth, by which I mean that characters aren't 2D cardboard cutouts plastered all over the screen as if the task of animating was given to a 6-year-old. Right, on to the story. Well, since I left the hive after the wedding incident, I can't really say for sure these archived films I borrowed, found in a ditch, are accurate portrayal of how things happened, but they seem to line up. But anyways, as Twilight finishes reading the book, she suddenly gets the runs. Wait, that's not it. Oh, right. She gets the need to run back to her ivory tower to investigate. On the way home, she gets a casual invite to a party that she declines, which will prove to be a terrible choice later on. But that won't come back to bite her in the ass for a few more seasons, so we're fine. Just fine. Now, as we move on, we get introduced to Spike, a character that I learned to hate. Still, it's interesting to see how Spike gets thrown into that abused and clumsy assistant role. And while I think that he's pretty smart, writers don't cast a lot of light on him for the first few seasons. Anyhow, we need to find a book, so you know the best way to do it is with the magics. After that's done, in conversation with Spike, our unicorn uses them big words. But in honest, this exchange serves two pretty cool purposes. It introduces some less used words to younger viewers and displays that Twilight is smart. Well done. Unfortunately, this won't be done much throughout the series. Also, when it comes to delivering messages, how lucky is Spike that he does it through burps and not the other way around? As the letter is sent, our Princess Exposition replies thusly.
Ha! Get good!
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's up with me. Anyways, never mind the impending doom, just go make some friends instead. And so, having been ordered by the false god, Twilight does. As our two companions arrive in Ponyville, they are first greeted by Pinkie, but she leaves immediately, which is a good thing. Then we meet AJ. As I look into cartoons, usually in pilot episodes, you have every character spit out their quirks and shticks right away without any subtlety. Like a good slap to the face with a rotten fish. So the viewer knows what category that character fits in. With AJ, I'm glad that writers didn't make her into Skeleton Boy, who refers to their long-lost inbred family members with thousands of skills and pasts. Honestly, I hate when writers make such characters, and it's good that AJ didn't fall into this. No, and Apple Bloom's cute moment. Aw, isn't that cute?
Let me consume your love!
Okay, that got weird real fast. Let's just move on. As Twilight had consumed, it seems, a whole horse, probably Apple Bloom, we now see how a pregnant mare would look like. But fear not, next we meet the mighty Rainbow Dash, who casually rams a bystander that miraculously makes our unicorn lose kilograms in just seconds. Come one, come all, Rainbow Dash presents the ultimate weight loss procedure. A high-speed collision that'll tear those kilograms away. This procedure might induce concussion, broken bones, and other physical injuries. Changelings are not responsible for this ad. Now, if I may say something about Rainbow, before watching MLP, I actually thought that Dash was the main hero of the story and Twilight was some sort of antagonist. Funny, eh? But seriously, I still think that Dash is the main hero. Still, Dash falls into tomboy athlete category that I like to see, as not that many cartoons have such characters. But okay, moving on, we get introduced to Rarity, the character that I'm the least bit fond of, yet got inspired by the most. Weird, isn't it? Contrary to Dash, Rarity falls into prissy fashionista role, which, as as said, I have not much fondness for. As it goes, Rarity seems to have that whole fashion thing down too much throughout the series. By that I mean in cartoons you have some sort of character shtick that gets applied to everyday tasks. Like having a forkman do his thing. Need to wash some clothes? Do it with forks. Need to saw a wood beam? Do it with forks. Need to fix a toaster? Well, I don't have to explain the result of that scenario. In some ways, Rarity is like that. Oh, and hate for Spike started right here. But anyways, then we move on to Fluttershy, who undoubtedly has a great introduction. Of course, from the name you can already tell that she's shy. A rather interesting introvert, if you will. Yet the way she flips from completely closed off to open person is too forced. But that aside, love for Flutters started right there. And finally we come to Golden Oak Library, where Twilight talks shit about the townspeople, while being surrounded by them in the dark. Yeah, I see where this is leading to. Here we get to see what Pinky is all about. Fun, laughter, smiles, and hyperactiveness. Most qualities I've learned to distrust. But hey, I'm just a cynical bug horse. That aside, I really like that hot sauce detail they included, as I personally adore spicy foods ever since I tried them. Sure, I need just love to survive, but if I get the chance to snack on something spicy, I sure won't miss out on it. So, at least one thing I like about the pink one. As the time for Sunrising event comes, everyone gathers in Town Hall, where no one seems to have had enough brains to check if Princess Exposition is ready to appear, or even has arrived. Instead, after a moment of incompetence, Nightmare Moon appears. And may I say, if my queen wouldn't exist, I would love to serve under Nightmare Moon. But speaking about the character frankly for a second, I hate when villains are portrayed as insane or being patronizing. Yeah, it's a kid's show, but from my childhood, I can recall the best villains to be the ones that were smart and approachable. But okay, this is the first bad guy for the brand new series, so we can throw it under the bus, or in this case, sent to the glue factory. Fight, 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 fight! Oh my, I would pay to see this match. Anyways, let's say Nightmare Moon would appear instead of Sun, but and try to be persuasive. She could actually be a pretty good baddie that only Twilight knows is a fake, making the story a bit more interesting. But no, I guess 1,000 Years on the Moon will make a pony mad. Still, as Nightmare Moon appears, ponies get extremely hostile and judgmental. Honestly, I know changelings have done some things, but at least we had a reason. Ponies are just dicks to anyone who's not familiar or the same as them. Guess that means a point for us. Yay! But anyways, in overall, I'd say as an opening episode, this was rather interesting. It did establish the world quite well, as well as the characters, oddly. As for my final thoughts, I'll hold them till I review the second part.